Good evening, good day, wherever you're at in video land. I wanted to make a video right quick. And I'm hearing there's a couple topics that a couple well-known YouTubers were addressing about relationships. And the first topic was about this latest star. One was Gabby. I think it was Gabby. I forgot her last name. She played that movie Precious, and they were, and it was. I was hearing the commentary about the kind of guy that she was with, and it was taking pictures, and some of the women, black women, were congratulating, trying to explain that they're very happy for her and things like that. And whatever person choose, that's what they choose. But one of the things that I notice when it comes to a topic like that, when it comes to interracial dating, is that when it comes from, particularly when it comes to black men and black women, and I was just thinking about this a while, and I'm gonna give it from the man's perspective, then I'm gonna give it from the woman's perspective. And I'm gonna use the word some, and the reason why some people do it. When it comes to the men, black men, the reason why there are some black men that pick, let's say that they're or a white female, basically, one they're friendly, the approach. Two, it's not so not the females that the white women or other women that they come across are not too masculine. Three, they just three, they just seem like it is more enjoyable when you approach the different women, and it's like it just clicked. I mean, for male and female ratio. Sometimes what they get is real, and in some cases it could be a sexual fantasy that could be as well with some black men. When they have children, that's a whole different ball game. With black women, on the other hand, some black women have the issue of not liking themselves because of their skin color. They're old, and maybe because maybe some men, maybe some black men must have really hurt them bad, or say that maybe they too overweight or they wearing too much weave or something like that. So I think that's why they gravitate towards, in some cases, and they hoping that to be a part of it, and they live vicariously through other women who find white males, particularly a white male, attractive. That's my opinion. It don't mean that it's actual fact. So it's gonna be something, and I have noticed this. Then it's feel like it's gonna be much of a better life as far as family. Sometimes as far as it, and it could be because of educational reasons, because some guys have good job skills, and it could be because maybe they feel like they won't cheat, and maybe that they won't be ridiculed or called that they're overweight, or they wearing hair weave, or something like that, and maybe because they won't tell because their complexion is too dark, and that could be the case. And then then it just come down to it. See, I knew this 30 years ago when I started seeing a lot of interracial dating. And I seen the black women, particularly here in Columbus, Ohio. This is like this is one of the Midwestern cities that have a high, 2-to-1 ratio as far as interracial dating than any other. Probably there's other cities that they're catching up, and I knew then because you got a cultural mixture of people and yet there are a high number of black men are going with white women and other women too, but everybody has various reasons. And then some people, you get to a point. But I believe on both ends it says that if you're not looking out on, if you're a man and you're not looking out on the type of black woman you find, and or you're a black woman, you're not looking on the type of black man you find, then the next option is to go to another ethnic background, another nationality. And sometimes you find once you get with somebody, you like their personality. You know, some people probably wonder what do they see in each other, and maybe when it comes to some black males as well as black females, when it comes to another race find them attractive, maybe their own race didn't find them pretty much attractive. So that could be the case. Because it's like, and then you got some women, and I can speak as a male, act like when they want a high standard and expect a black man to be at a high standard male as far as income and education and things like that. But it's kind of funny because when you see some of them, the black female that take white males, they're not too many of them have a high education or high degree of job. So it has, in some cases it could be because they just want to have a mixed child. I do believe that if they're able to get fertile, get pregnant, and for that reason, and then, but most of the times it's most likely out of love. The rest, I believe, could be possibly out of love. It's just, and sometimes from a perspective, some black men and black women, we don't treat each other. Most of the time, we're not too friendly to one another. We're not. I mean, this is on either end. I'm just gonna be flat out honest with you. We're not really friendly when it comes to the opposite sex. We're not really that friendly. I mean, you get some black females you get coming, and I'm not saying all. Again, I'm not saying all, but some got a certain like meanness to themselves. It's like, dang, it's like, hey, you be wanting to say hi and make eye contact, but it's feel like, you feel like you ain't worth a dirt in my shoe. And that's what, and I've heard, or if your game ain't certain type, you might be considered a lame or a square. So sometimes the black dudes that you might see, maybe the black females that you see in interracial dating is because they were considered lame. And when you in the black community, if your personality ain't at a certain level, come off kind of suburban or white kind of speak, especially from the city, you get kind of ridiculed for that. You do. I mean, let's be honest. And people, you get some black people say some stuff like, you're talking white. Yeah. Or they'll mock at you because maybe you dress a certain way. Your body is unorthodox. Maybe you're too skinny or you too overweight. I'm just being honest with you, and because people don't understand, they say, why can't we stick together and I believe that's the reason why you see some interracial couple and they couldn't find somebody that maybe in their own race. When it comes to some black women, they couldn't find the black men that was attractive. They were attractive because they felt like they just wasn't a proportion of their weight, or they wasn't a certain, because I hear men talk about women having fake hair and stuff like that. They overweight, or they this or they that, and then it's like, wow, And then when it comes to women, it's more like he ain't got an education, he ain't got a certain type of job to meet my standard of I want to live classy and high class, and spend money and I can just take care of what is understandable. If you want a man that will support you, but in which any man to get into a relationship with a woman, yeah, that's part of that being part of the relationship. But they feel like they shouldn't have to struggle, and they figure if they get with this, maybe if they get with this other race of man, they don't have to worry about that. And that could be in that case. And it's a self-esteem issue. It's just that maybe they grew up in the both men and women grew up in a community where people mocked them, the way they handle stuff. It was kind of violently. It was dysfunction, and we do have a certain degree of people in our community is dysfunction. We have to come up with it. Some of us we can say things with words that can hurt somebody, and we don't care how black people don't hold their tongue. Some of them don't hold their tongue. If you're not strong enough, in a way, I'm just giving you from a perspective why I believe that's why it's happening. And because people wonder why, how come we can't stick together? It's because of that. And then when you get to a certain area, and I think that's why some of us don't go back and don't want to live around other black people, because the way sometimes we have bad experience with our own people, even though that we suffer the same, we could go through the same incidents as far as racism and racial incidents and things like that. But when it comes to envious and jealousy and malice actions, I do believe that's why some black people don't want to be around other black people. And that's the reason why they go to other communities. This is maybe they really want to come back, but it's like no, because maybe they get criticized, and people don't think about that. They really don't. I mean, if you're a brother that talk a certain way, if you talk like you from some part of the streets with some slang and cuss words, whatever, and you talk a certain way, well, you sound kind of educated too proper. And I mean, you could be mocked and made fun as a lame or square, or something wrong with you. It could be the same way with when you're a black female, and we don't like to talk about stuff. People don't like to talk. That sometimes your own people could be your worst enemy. There's a lot of malice and jealousy among each other. We get something, and that person could have worked hard for it, earn it. And some people just don't like you. I've come across people like that. They feel like they come through your way and disrespect you in some type of way. I mean, just little dumb stuff that we do that we don't have much respect among each other. So that could be the motive. That could be the main reason why, because you hear some black men and black women say that why can't we? That's one of the reasons why we don't respect one another. We don't accept the human difference in each other. We think there's a segment in the black community. If you don't have a certain persona, aggressively, assertively, a certain type of way, then you slow, either you're easy to run over, either you just, and it gets kind of tribal. We get tribal. This is among black people. We get really tribal. I mean, I lived in different cities and been around black folks, and if you live in a certain type, you ain't from that neighborhood, you're like a foreigner. I mean, this is the truth. I mean, one or two people might speak to you, everybody is kind of side-eyed looking at you, all strange. And it's like, dang, you're just trying to get along. And so sometimes some of us go out there, and so when we go into those environments where it's predominantly white, and your children, the kids go into predominantly white school. I hate to say it like this. So that the atmosphere of people you're around is more accepting. And so because sometimes, and not that saying you're not going, that person ain't going, and not in all cases, but in some cases, that's why some black people, because of the education, the atmosphere, and the environment, and the ones who are able to afford to put their kids out there, that's why they do that. So so young people grow up out in that kind of environment, and they react, their way of talking, expressing themselves is different because of the atmosphere that the people that are around. Well, when you come back and try to deal with city folks, that's a whole different people that never really, and you've been black people that never really been around a lot of that atmosphere, whether it's rural or urban area, urban or that suburban mentality. They carry, and urban people carry a certain degree. So even though you all can be black, but there's a difference, and then you got people in the city. They, when someone come down to them and they start being articulate and expressing, there's a division because people feel like you being better or you talking better than they do, and then it's like you ain't have no personal swag, or you don't know no street. You ain't hip. You ain't this. And this is what we do among each other. And so I think when it comes to some black women that also from the city, they expect, they see you not like that, that you can be considered a lame or duck. So that's one of the reasons why. I'm just gonna come out. That's what. And so why can't we come together? Well, first of all, and why can't black men be with black women? And that's in some cases. That I'm not saying in all cases, but that's the reason why I believe black men and black women cross over and they get with other cultures. A certain percentage of them do. And this is something that most people in the black community don't want to talk about. It's easy to mock and poke fun at it. Now the case with Gabby Douglas, it's the girl named Gabby who played the Precious, and Serena and other one guys was, and it could be guys wasn't checking them like that, and maybe them same black guys wasn't, maybe they was hurt by a black guy that wanted to be their boyfriend. They wanted to bring home that looked like somebody like their dad, but someone probably told them they too dark, or they too this, or they too that. Because sometimes, and that really is you too dark, or you took your hair too nappy. Sometimes you get it from your own people, worse than you get it from other people. You do, and it probably start, and you carry that when you're a kid, when you in school, whether you're a little boy, whether you're a little girl. So you tell that you too dark, or you too this. So suddenly you meet somebody who maybe is white, maybe they don't carry, or there's some other person don't carry that spirit of prejudice, or mocking you because of making you ashamed of what you are, or the way you express yourself. And you try to go, and you want to be around your own people, but your own people will mock you and laugh at you and reject you. And some will try to take advantage and try to use you because they think you're slow. See, this is the truth. So a lot of times, that's why our people go to other people. That's why black people interracially marry and date at high numbers. I do believe that. In some cases, it's just, but then it's the other cases. Some people already had a preference like that. They have always had a likeness for other races of people. And maybe they've been like that, and a lot of that maybe has to do with TV, the imagery. When you see when a black female see a white male, he's like the savior. He's the every woman desire on the planet. So she want her one, and maybe she has in her mind, that she gonna get the guy that is gonna be like one of the guys you see off of the magazine or soap opera. He's risky, he's a lightning, and they just want to be part of that crowd, that yuppie huffy crowd, In the case with black females, I think that could be it too. And so, but either way, so this might be raising the question. So anybody come across this video, this is probably the reason why you seeing it. You need to get the whole story. I'm not saying that's in her case, But it could be that's the case. If she's been told she's overweight, maybe this guy, even though he's a slender white guy or whatever, maybe he find attractive. It may look kind of awkward to someone else, but hey, it is what it is. He make her feel like she's a queen, whatever. Because maybe no black dude never stepped up. Because they say she too overweight, and some of them do. Some brother didn't holler at her, talk to her. So maybe she went to the next thing. And then again, if that could be one reason. Second reason is because we're programmed not to see other people as on totem pole, and that's on both sides. I mean, as black men, we desire, and some of us think that we're gonna get like one of those females, and really, the men that have with the lust is because you see them porno movies, and and they you picture in your mind, ooh, when you first seen your first Playboy and Hustler mag, they were white females. And you see us, and you see how the way they did all the things to those males on the screen. So in some cases that was the case. So that could be the reason why. I'm just saying it could be a reason. It's just that as far as sexuality, and then of course with the white female when she get with the black dude, all about that. But that could be the reason. But I'm just telling from this kind of perspective. But there are some interracial couples, I believe they really are in love. That's just, there's some black men that always like white women. There are black women that always find white men attractive and other men attractive, whether they're Spanish or whatever. But you just can't. What can you do? And maybe maybe their own people, maybe their own opposite of their sex, never find them attractive. People never think about that. It's like, why are you with that white man? Why are you with that white woman? Because my own never find me attractive. They think I'm too square. They think I'm too lame. They think I'm just going to, I don't, what you perceive me, you think I would be weak. If we got into an argument, we got into a fight with another man, and I've heard some things that you expect me to come a certain way, and you don't know, you don't think I'm gonna provide for you, and you blame me for the dude that, and if it's a single mother, previous to a man, the first man walked out on her, so she's still wrestling around with anger because she haven't got over. She's been hurt really bad, and somehow, when she come across the next man, and particularly next black man, he ain't gonna do like he did the last time. And I've come across women like that. And it's like, wow, like, why you taking it out on me? Why did you take it out on the dude? So she got some inner pain going on because she ain't never got over it, because that's the kid's dad. And that's for some single mothers out there that they never got over it. And so and maybe the dude that come along wasn't like the past husband or the boyfriend that was a complete jerk. Might have dogged her out, cheated on her, and might have really did a number to her. But it's the truth. And so you have that in some cases. And so men have a wall about that too, like, and then you have to worry about, is this dude gonna try to get back into the picture, or because he you feeling kind of way, old feelings start coming back, that that's something that can be considered too. It can be vice versa. But to get back to the reason why, I can only just from experience, and sometimes there's some of us that we don't. There's a certain percentage of people I do think that they want to stay connected to the black community, However, I mean, some black people make it hard. I'm just going. They make it hard, man. I mean, wherever you live, wherever you stay, and so it's hard to find like-minded black people that accept you for your whole character, not what they perceive you to be. Is this the way you don't look a certain way? You don't come off a certain kind of swag or certain kind of style, and just they don't like every person. And this is human. I think it's just human nature. Just because someone is in the same skin color as you, everybody has a different personality. That's just common sense. But you can't. But when it comes to some of our people can't accept that. Just go. Some of our people expect if you don't call raw, rough, and cussing and everything. That's the only way you're gonna get some respect. That's the only way you're gonna get some attention. You gotta have to be raw and rough and so maybe some people, maybe there are some men that don't call raw and rough, and like some women don't come a certain type of way, and the opposite sex when it comes to our own culture is not appealing. I mean, because of TV, because of what they attracted to when they see a certain type of man. I mean, a certain type of boy, a young man to give out that kind of that energy that they think is masculine, whatever. I mean, and so some people, so that could be the reason why, and simply they wasn't really attracted to him. If the dude come off, he's kind of got his head straight, and it's for the actor tongue, how the way he's able to deal with people of all walks of life. If it's like, it's almost like if he ain't angry, he ain't angry at white people and ready to fight somebody, that he ain't black. I'm serious. You get that, and so what is a brother supposed to do? So he spread his options and maybe find another woman. It could be another black woman in another culture that don't have that requirement, that don't have that American mindset requirement. I gotta be a bad boy or whatever. I just accept you for you. I know, and I believe there's black women in other countries that don't mind being a female, being feminine. That don't mind. That's why it's not. We know you can't. That's why you can't put a label on every black female. They're like some of the ones you see in America. They're masculine. They too independent. They tell it they don't need no man, but yet and then they talk about other men that they see them going out with other women, but yet they don't want it when it comes to them trying to be a relationship to the point of being a potential wife. They don't want to sacrifice part of themselves. And that man is looking for that kind of woman. That black man may be looking for that kind that's going to act like the wife. Maybe once in a while cook it. Maybe do simple things that show that he's appreciated. Maybe make sure of affection. I mean, you just name it. And that would just be there, just be that support, and not beat down on him or whatever. And that's why he goes to these other females, because maybe them other females don't come on masculine and hard and testy. Maybe the kind of female he come across is not like that, and sometimes she could be of another race. Let's be honest. And he haven't come across a black female yet that have never had that kind of nature. And it's hard to find black women with that nature here in the United States. They're out there, but it's like trying to find a gold piece under a mountain. They're out there, but it's not. I'm just be flat out honest with you. So sometimes, and then it's the personality. Some black